Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Let's Argue, where I hop on the internet, I take your hot takes, your unpopular opinions, your tough questions, I respond to the best ones. That's where it's at, baby. I'm your host with the best teeth. So yeah, I'm just gonna read through these takes and let's see if they suck. We don't actually have to have a whole discourse every time a Disney actor becomes a pop star. You can literally copy and paste the same things people said about Miley Cyrus 10 years ago and apply them to Olivia Rodrigo. The takes on the subject do not change at all. Yes, and the story has been happening for decades at this point, even before Miley Cyrus. This goes even further back to Mickey Mouse Club shit, as I said in my Olivia Rodrigo review. There's a lot of pop stars out there that people love and think are fantastic, be it Britney, be it JT, that kind of came from that Disney background. I don't really know what to tell you. Kind of, riding in that lane and being in that community and being immersed in that part of the industry just kind of makes you ready and raring to go as a pop star. It also helps that as you are in that industry as a child, you then sort of age out of it as a teenager, and you're kind of like that prime age to sort of, hit it in a boy band or as a solo singer. Then you have to consider all of Disney's connections to the music world on top of that, and how as an actress or actor, you're kind of commingling in the midst of all that. Being in the industry in a significant way already does, in a way, prime the pump. It makes you experienced. It certainly can give you an edge. It's a privilege that's not allotted to everybody. But with that being said, having pre-established connections to the entertainment industry doesn't just mean that your life is instantly on easy street. I mean, Rodrigo is effectively a child star, and how many horror stories have we heard from that world where people who have come out of that have had abuse issues, addiction issues, have died prematurely. Look, I'm not saying any of this is true of Olivia. I'm not trying to project any of this onto her. I'm just saying that you shouldn't assume just because somebody's been on a Disney show that everything is amazing and everything's just so easy for them to do and their life is just going amazing. The Metalhead community isn't very good anymore, at least in my experience. Most people I've met either have huge egos or are just dicks for no reason. Some that I've met really try hard to prove that their music is the best and everyone else's music is garbage. This is not new. This has been the Metalhead community, and not to shit on the Metalhead community as a whole, because, I grew up listening to metal. I have known and know tons of great, amazing metalheads, which are fantastic people. But even the biggest fans of the genre know, and the most level-headed fans of the genre know, that there is an air of pretentiousness to some people who are in the community. And, there's really no telling what genres and scenes and pockets they're going to be in, but they're elitists. They're elitists in nearly every genre, especially genres that super appeal highly to dudes. But look, while I'm not going to come in here and stereotype the metal community as a whole, for as long as I've been aware of metal, have listened to metal, have been in the community or been aware of the community to some degree, there's always been guys like this. I wouldn't go as far as this comment here is and say, oh, that's all that's left in metal anymore. I don't think that's the case. But honestly, I feel like this may be a situation where maybe the veil was pulled back or something, and you came to realize a characteristic of the community that maybe at one point you were just sort of ignoring or putting to the side or not really paying attention to. DJs for class reunions in 20 to 30 years will have no idea what to play since nobody listens to the radio. I'm pretty sure in the next 20 to 30 years, there's probably going to be oldies playlists on Spotify or some shit like that, and the DJs will be playing off that. You're gonna see people just going crazy on the dance floor to hyper pop and Gex and Playboy Cardi and friggin' I'm getting ripped tonight, R.I.P. Yeah, it's just all gonna be through streaming, and it's gonna be cringe. I guarantee it. I'm also probably gonna be out of work at that point in the next 20 to 30 years, so if you guys have a high school reunion 2 to 3 decades from now and you need a DJ to play all those old Anthony Fantano kind of hits, hit me up. Believe me, I'm gonna need that work. I'm gonna need that money. A song automatically becomes a terrible song whenever everyone and their grandma knows it from being overplayed on the radio or TikTok. What the fuck does this even mean? Through its years of being played on radio, I'm pretty sure everyone and their grandma knows the song Smells Like Teen Spirit. Is that a bad song? I'm pretty sure everybody and their grandma knows Prince's Purple Rain or knows Michael Jackson's Beat It. Are those bad songs because they're popular and everyone's heard them? No, of course not. That's silly. I understand the perspective that, like, certainly something can get overplayed for you personally to the point where you get sick of it, but it doesn't change the quality of the song. Shut up, this is annoying. It's really funny that there are multiple pictures. No, I don't want that. The Alchemist is an overrated producer. His beats, for the most part, are slow, too cluttered, and often sound very samey. I absolutely understand the appeal of his relaxed lounge psychedelic aesthetic, but he's really one of the more boring people getting attention right now. The Alchemist is a talented producer. I think the guy knows his way around a groove. He samples some great source material, and I think he has great taste, a good ear. I think he had a lot of great beats on that recent Arm & Hammer project, for sure. Look, at the end of the day, to the degree that the Alchemist production doesn't stand out or doesn't like grab you or doesn't like jump off the page, I think is to the degree that he's trying to do his best to complement the artists that he's working with and kind of serve their sound and back them up as effectively as he could. Now, are there some to do that while also finding their own way to like pop out and be really bold? Sure. I think Madlib is certainly an example of that. And do I actually think with his years upon years upon years of experience that the Alchemist, if he wanted to, could do a Madlib beat, do a Dilla beat, do whatever kind of crazy fucking beat? He just came out with like some kind of weird soundtracky synth shit. I mean, I have no doubt that the guy like has some musical chops that we're not hearing like the full scope of, because we only hear him in certain contexts on certain records. Like, the guy's been around for fucking ever at this point. I think if he wasn't that talented, he wouldn't have lasted this long. More government support is greatly needed to get the live music industry back on track, as many venues have lost staff and are in need of relief funding. I agree. But honestly, with shows being booked for the end of this year and vaccines rolling out, I think that the government's pretty much just like washed its hands of this and have said like, oh, you kind of made it. You're good. You're kind of good. You're kind of, okay, good. Thanks. Great. See you later. You're good. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be great. Classical musicians study and practice their craft from a young age, go on to music school to improve and learn more. All that to only do covers of works by greater men for the rest of their careers. Look, I understand. Classical musicians train to perform pieces. They cut their teeth on the classics, as it were. But when you're performing at a high level, especially as a soloist, it's not really just about like looking at the sheet music and playing everything exactly as you should and da-da-da-da-da. Like, when you're playing at that level and you're improving that much, there is a pretty high level of, I guess, I won't say improvisation, but interpretation that kind of goes into performing certain pieces. It actually gives you a lot of creative leeway as a performer to build on a piece that you're kind of, portraying here as this rigid singular thing that can only be played in one way. And on top of that, there's still a lot of new classical music out there today being written and recorded. There's always the opportunity for someone to compose their own work. It's out there. It's happening. You don't just have to train to be a classical musician and just play other people's stuff for the rest of your life. There's new stuff out there. You're the best. Love you so much. Hope you're doing well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, music, let's argue forever.